In this episode, I'm going to be talking about why your manifestations might not be happening, why you might be losing faith in manifestation. Maybe you have all these big goals and these big dreams, but you can't see them actually happening, or maybe you're not sure, maybe you're doubting yourself and getting so confused on how to actually have these things materialize, because I appreciate there is so much content out there, so many different people saying different things, and that's definitely what I found with my experience. Is the noise can be so overwhelming, and then you almost find yourself procrastinating, not taking action, and just basically feeling lost in the whole process on having the goal and having the idea and knowing what you want, to working out, well, how do I actually get there, and how does manifestation play a part in that? I'm going to tell you what happens when you decide to manifest. Okay, so my little whiteboard here. Let's say you've decided that you want this certain thing, right? Let's put it here. You decided that you want, you see, this goal, and this goal might be £20,000 a month. It might be your own fashion line. This might be a particular relationship, a particular job title, whatever it might be. You've decided it's here. However, you are over here. This is you, and you are vibrating at a certain frequency, and let's say this frequency is frequency A, and you are a type of person who does certain things, you've done them a certain way for a really long time, you have certain belief systems, which is why you're operating in this place, because of whatever beliefs you have in your mind that were put there between the ages of 0 and 7 has made you into the person you are today, which is why you have manifested the life you currently have at the moment, because of what's going on up here, right? But also because of the frequency that you are putting out. Now, that's like a whole other story about frequency and how you are magnetic, and all of the science behind that is available. But let's just talk as if you agree with me on this, right? And you've decided that you want this shiny thing over here. Now, this thing operates at a certain frequency. Let's call it frequency B. Okay? See? So you are here with all your thoughts and beliefs that have been imprinted on you between the ages of 0 and 7, and you're currently at a frequency of A, which is attracting to you your current reality. The thing you want is at a vibrational frequency of B. So first of all, you're not a match, right? You are not in energetic alignment with the thing that you say that you want. So first of all, that's why you're not currently experiencing in your reality, and that's why you experience what you have now. And sometimes this can be a really hard pill to swallow, because you're like, well, I'm working really hard, I'm doing all of the things. Maybe you're tapping every single day, maybe you're watching inspirational videos. All of that stuff is absolutely amazing. However, simply just watching an inspirational video or listening to affirmations on repeat isn't necessarily going to put you into the energetic frequency of this thing here. There are certain actions you're going to have to take in order to get into that frequency, in order to become the version of you that can hold the manifestation. In order to meet it at that place, you're going to have to go through certain challenges. Simply listening to positive things isn't going to have the manifestation come to you quicker. It's nice to wake up and put on like a positive YouTube. I did that for years. I did it for years. The problem is we're talking about beliefs that have been instilled in you between the ages of 0 and 7. So you've spent the better part, if you're, around my age, you spent the better part of 25 years, let's say, believing that money is the root of all evil, or believing that in order to earn more, you have to work harder, or whatever it might be, the thing that is holding you back. Simply just watching a positive video every single morning on YouTube isn't going to access your subconscious brain and rewire and change that belief. So instead, I would start looking at other things like EFT tapping, subliminals, journaling out, and looking at like having these things come up. So asking yourself questions like, what is it that's holding me back? What is it that's stopping me from doing this thing? Or maybe you have an idea and you think this is definitely aligned action. I know that I need to start posting on social media. I know I need to create a YouTube. I know I need to apply for these jobs, but there is something that constantly holds you back. You're constantly procrastinating, or then you're scrolling your phone, or you're looking for other dopamine hits because you're body is quite literally holding you back from the thing you say you want, because there is a reason why it doesn't want it, okay? I know consciously it makes so much sense. You're like, yes, but so much money. I would love to be a millionaire, Emma. Of course I want it. Of course it's safe. But to your subconscious mind, that does not feel safe. Or there is a belief in there that says rich people are greedy. And actually that clashes with your values and your morals, that you don't want to be a bad person because you love people, you love the environment, you love helping. And so the idea of you then being a greedy, not very kind person, of course you're going to self-sabotage when it comes to actually taking action towards that thing to get you that money, to get you that job, whatever it is. So it's about changing your belief system, and you can only really do that through the inner work. The only way you're going to rewire your subconscious mind, the part that controls 95% of what you're doing, also is what brings in your reality, is to actually do something to rewire. Try journaling, meditation, tapping. There are so many modalities out there that will actually rewire your mind. And again, this comes back to why your manifestations aren't materializing, or why you're not able to hit those things on your goal board, because there is a part of you deep down that doesn't believe it's possible for you, that you don't feel worthy of it, that you don't think people like you get to have things like this. And so that's why it's not materializing. So it doesn't matter how much harder you work. It doesn't matter how much more you push through. You don't need more discipline. You don't need to push yourself and work harder and work 18-hour days. It's about who you are being, not about what you are doing. I also want to talk about the fact that something happens when you decide you want more. So let's say this is quite new for you and quite recent, or you've set yourself an even bigger goal. Maybe before you were able to manifest, and now you're thinking, wait, why can't I now manifest? Like 2 years ago, I would decide what I wanted and the thing would come to me so easily. And now you've set yourself even bigger goals. Something happens when, oh, whiteboard again. Something happens when you decide you want this thing. So you've decided now that, okay, I'm making £3,000 a month. Now I want 5. And now you've set something bigger and you're like, but why isn't it manifesting? I'm doing all the same things I was doing before, Emma. Something happens. Again, like I've said to you, this is you over here vibrating at a certain frequency. And now you've said you want this thing, which is vibrating at a different frequency. The universe, God, life, your subconscious, whatever you want to call it, is essentially going to bring up all these challenges. You see that? The universe is going to bring up all these challenges, these things here between you and the thing you say you want. Now, the reason for that is because there is this version of you right now vibrating at this frequency, but also being this version of you. And it requires you to up level to this version of you. And in order to do that, you have to go through these challenges. These things aren't roadblocks set in the way. I think sometimes we set a goal and then our Instagram gets deleted. And we're like, for goodness sake, like, why did this happen? I really wanted this thing. And now, look, it's obviously not meant to be. No, in fact, it's the opposite. When you feel like your life is falling apart, that is happening for a reason. And it's either because those things need to break away because they're no longer in alignment with this new version of you. So it might be a friendship that breaks down. It's because that friendship lasted in that frequency of where you were at here, where maybe you had less self-worth, maybe you weren't trying as hard, maybe you weren't as ambitious. But now that you're up leveling, because you're doing all the tapping, you're doing all the inner work, you're working on yourself to become a better version of you, you're now no longer energetic alignment with that person. And so that person has to break away. Could be a job. You could be thinking, oh, I want a promotion, I want to make more money, and then you lose your job. Okay. Those things have to break away because they weren't in alignment. But also there is a part of you that needs to grow. And we only grow when we go through challenges. And I know it sucks, but if you can remember that this is your life, that's your lifeline at the bottom. And up here, you're experiencing all these amazing highs where like you're making money, you're traveling, everything's amazing, like you've got the love of your life. And then you hit this like little pit stop here, this little challenge, this little bump in the road, and you feel like everything is falling apart. You don't know if you can handle it. The manifestation comes when you react differently here than how you would have reacted as your old self. So if you're still showing up to these challenges, yes, you can have your pity party for 5 minutes. Yes, you can, bitch and moan and be like, oh God, this is so frustrating. That you're allowed to have those moments and have those emotions. In fact, I would welcome it. If you need to have a cry, have a cry. But then how do you react to that after that moment? If you can shift yourself to be, okay, I know that this is a challenge. I know there is something here for me to learn, for me to grow into a better version of me that is going to get me to the next bit. And then you know the next high is coming. So you can relax a little bit, right? You can now be like, breathe. I know this is the challenging part, but I know what's around the corner is going to be even fucking better. And that's because you are growing into the person who can now be an energetic match for this thing over here. However, if you react the same way that you have always reacted, what's going to happen is you're just going to keep going down here. So I'm telling you that I would rather have this and experience it all these highs than have this where I just don't try and I give up and nothing's ever amazing and then my life is just blur, because what's the point? Versus, okay, this is a challenge. I know that these are put in front of me, not to stop me, but to help me grow so I can become the person that can hold and maintain this. Because if right now I gave you all of your goals and all of your desires and all the things that you were asking for, you would not be able to hold it. If I turned around and gave you the business, I gave you the employees, I gave you the money of the thing that you say you want, you would not be able to hold it because you have not grown into the person you need to be in order to have it and maintain it. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. Let me know in the comments if you're understanding what I'm saying. And then the last thing I want to put out there when it comes to this inner work, if you are truly, truly doing the inner work, if you are showing up, if you are putting your all into it, if you are doing the tapping, if you are doing the journaling, if you are, doing all the self-care and not having your phone for 30 minutes in the morning, and you're being present when you're with your loved ones, and you're giving yourself time off to work and allowing yourself to rest and doing all the things that we know we need to be doing for our self-care, for our mindset, for rewiring our belief system. If you are doing all of those things and you still cannot see it materializing, I need you to know that it's coming. And I really learned this when I was losing my weight. So I've recently lost over 22 kilos, which is like 3.5 stone. And there were moments where I felt like nothing was happening. And it's in those moments where you need to hold the faith. Okay, it's called faith for a reason. If we knew that I should have read out, it wouldn't be faith, right? So I need you to learn to hold the faith. If you are doing the stuff, and I mean genuinely doing the stuff, and then you're taking the aligned action, you're not just like wishing and then not doing anything, not getting out your comfort zone, not going live, not applying for the jobs, not pushing yourself past your comfort zone, then of course those things aren't going to materialize. But if you're doing all of those things and you're like, oh my God, where is it? I promise you it is coming. But it is in these moments where most people quit. And they're like, oh, this shit doesn't work. Okay, whatever. I'm just going to go back to being miserable, complaining about everything. And then, of course, something's going to happen in that frequency. Of course, something's going to happen if you're not trying. Of course, if you're not pushing out of your comfort zone, showing up online, being consistent, engaging with your audience, of course, you're not going to grow a following. Like, of course, these are obvious things, right? But in that moment, it can feel so heavy where we're like, nothing's happening, I just quit. So my advice to you is don't quit. Just keep going. And the way I always picture it is that thing, I'll put the picture up here, where the guy is like digging for diamonds and then he's just about to quit when they are literally there. That is you every time with your manifestation. And then when you quit and you walk away and you're like, oh, forget this, and you stop doing the inner work, you stop showing up online, you stop doing the things that are pushing out of your comfort zone, you then have to start all over again. And then you're building momentum all over again. And you're having to start from step 1 again. You might have been on step 20 and your manifestation was step 21, but then you've quit and now you've got to do all the 20 steps again. So how exhausting is that? To be like, yeah, I'm going to go, and then give up. Then, yeah, I'm going to go, and then give up. That is exhausting. Versus, why not just like go, do all the things, up level, become this new version of you. Now you're this new version of you and you've got your manifestations, and now you're like, cool, I'm making 5K a month. Okay, this is normal. It's happening every month. You set your thermostat. I will do another video on that. And then you're like, cool, now it's 10K. And then you do it again. You go and you go and you go and you go. But if you are not doing this, you're forever going to be stuck at those 2K months or in that job that you hate or whatever it is, okay? I hope this helps. You've got this. And please let me know if you've got any questions in the comments.